Alright, this is Chad. They do right here. Purchased my first Cushman 8 horsepower 2-cylinder engine. It's kind of like a hit and miss, but not quite. This is pretty much how I got it, except for I did build this to help stabilize it for the trip. This trailer is very bouncy. So I played around with it a little bit. There was no spark, and unfortunately the guy that I bought it from, I think there's a little gear in here. It's missing. So magneto needs to be gone through, and there at the very least I need to get it at least operating. Right now there's no spark. I lost that off there. I took the wires off. Those wires off. It's pretty easy to remember, provided it was done right. This was the left-hand cylinder, which I would consider would be cylinder number 1. And this one here, I dropped the screw down underneath of it. This was cylinder number 2. I have not put any gas in it or anything like that, but this, I believe that this engine, it has a Waco magneto that says Series A. So I'm going to have to try to see if I can get that gear. And the points obviously need to be cleaned up. This is evidently like a plunger type oil pump. It draws the oil in from down here and it puts it up here. Now I don't know if it just like sprays it or how it works. Now initially I thought that the exhaust valves were stuck, but they actually weren't, and they did operate like they're supposed to. There is a lot. This is the governor. There's a lot of play on the shoes in there. I don't know if the video is picking that up or not. I might flip them around and hopefully I can just use the opposite sides. And here's I don't know if you can see that, but there's a weight over here. There's a weight on this side too. Operates the governor for the carburetor. These are, I consider these to be compression reliefs. I guess they can also be a place you can drop some fuel in there to make it start easier. And this one just unscrews, so it's just a bit different. This here, if you point it, I think up, when you turn it over, it does spray oil out, so it is pumping oil out. And I just figured this out to check the oil. I got a bumblebee here near me. To check the oil, there's a sight glass that checks your oil level. I got a bumblebee here hovering right near me. Go away. Here is the brass plate. I don't know if it's readable or not. So there was so much play in there, they had this thing almost cranked wide open. When you turn this little thumb screw, that slides this out to give you more throttle. This spring looks to have been, does not look to be original. The original probably rusted away. The only other problem that I'm sure of, that I don't know exactly how to take care of yet, is this clutch is froze to the flywheel. I mean, it's frozen, meaning that it's stuck engaged. No matter how I put this lever here. I mean, from what I understand, I think that turns it on, and I think that's supposed to release it. Well, unfortunately, I can't really turn it, but yeah, it's still locked up. So until it looks like this plate comes loose, so I don't know if anybody's been in one of these before or not. There is 2 grease caps on this side. You gotta put some fresh grease in here, lubes that, and then put some fresh grease over there, and that lubes that side. So I guess next order of business is to see about ordering some sort of a rebuild kit for this Waco magneto. See if I can get spark, see if I can get it running. One thing I think is kind of weird is look, see how much plays in this thing when it kicks over. Don't worry, it's not sparking, so I'm not going to hurt the magneto, but I guess that's the way it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to work. I always thought it was supposed to be solid. Let me take the pressure release off. I haven't messed with the carburetor yet, so I don't know much about it, but here's what the oil pump does when you spin it over with that valve up. Because evidently every rotation or so it spits oil out. I mean, obviously you don't do it that with running, but that's just basically that takes place of an oil pressure gauge. You get it started and you lift this up, it sprays oil out, you know you got oil pressure. So far so good. And this is for the water pump. The shaft's turning okay. So I actually kind of got a pretty good deal. So kind of a neat little motor. I'd like to put it onto like a little frame and drive it around. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to lay it on outside like I've seen some people do. Some people have made like a little Waterloo Boy Replicas. Some people have made it's got a really pretty flywheel on it. Some people have made like Stroker D, which is basically a John Deere. For a period of time they made a flywheel and they called it a Stroker. I don't know why, or Spoker D. I'm sorry, Spoker D, and that's because of the spoked flywheel. And so I've got a long way to go, but I did notice these bolts here. Looks like they kind of work loose from the base plate, so I'm going to most likely put a washer and washer there, or put some Loctite on those, because it looks like it's whenever it was running, when it was last ran, it was definitely working them loose. So anywho, that's about it. Shall we do right out?